How many clients have you lost simply because they felt ignored or confused in their first week of working with you? And here's the thing, I'm not being dramatic. I've watched it happen a lot. After working with 180 plus B2B companies, I've seen a lot. Imagine this. A client signs a contract. They're excited. They're ready to go. And then what do they get? A PDF, a welcome email that looks like it was written in 2009, and maybe a Zoom link for their onboarding call, and maybe that link is expired. And then these B2B companies wonder why their retention is so terrible. So the single most high leverage thing that you can do for your client retention rate is nail the first 24 hours. And a lot of B2B businesses are leaving that completely up to chance. Today, we're gonna fix that real quick because I know some of you are gonna be watching this video and think, okay, great, here's another person trying to teach me how to automate my onboarding. Let me earn your time. I haven't just read about this. I've spent many hours, genuinely embarrassing amount of hours of my life, building operations and automations across real B2B businesses. I've watched onboarding work, I've watched it completely fall apart, I've identified the patterns, and I'm about to give you the exact framework that my team has perfected after onboarding hundreds of clients. This isn't theory. This actually converts signed contracts to long-term partnerships. And we've done this for quite a few of our clients. So here's what we're covering today. 1. The single biggest bottleneck that is slowing down your onboarding and why it's probably not what you think. 2. The first automation you should build for the highest impact. 3. My 24-hour checklist so you never miss a step again. 4. How to make automations feel personal because nobody wants to feel like they've been handed off to a robot. 5. How to transition a client from sales to service without them feeling abandoned. And 6. When to ask for a testimonial because yes, timing really matters. Let's start with 1, the problem. Here's what I see constantly. Most B2B onboarding processes aren't just slow. They are actively destroying your retention rates. And the reason for that is because most of us built our onboarding process when we had like 5 clients. We were doing everything manually because it was just 5 people. It worked, and then it scaled, and the manual process stuck around. And it still worked, just badly and a lot slower, with more people now doing the same process, broken thing over and over again. Here's a stat. Only 12% of B2B businesses claim that their onboarding process is fully optimized, meaning 88% are leaving money on the table. 88%. That means the vast majority of us are operating on an onboarding system that's actually costing us clients and revenue and our team's sanity. So what's the biggest bottleneck? I'll tell you what it is. It's the moment a lead becomes a client, you have to move them from your sales process to your service process. The transition there is usually where the wheels start to fall off. The client goes from getting a lot of attention from your company during the sales process to feeling a little bit ignored in your service process because your team's got to figure out who owns the account and blah, 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 blah. They're going to feel neglected, and that tiny voice in the back of their head, the one that was quiet when they signed on with you, it starts to get loud again. 2. The framework. Okay, here's the system. I'm calling it the 24-hour framework. And before we get into the steps, I need to talk about all the things that make it work. Because without this, you're just creating a pretty process that still relies on someone remembering to start the process. So before the first step in your process, remember that every process starts with a good trigger. A trigger for a system is a single moment where everything kicks off automatically. Because if it doesn't start automatically, it starts when someone remembers. And someone's always forgetting. They're on a call, they're dealing with another client. They might completely miss it. Your onboarding system should not depend on a human remembering. It should depend on a signed contract. Here's how we have some of our clients do this. Let's say our client is using Qwilr for proposals. We like Qwilr because if you're still sending proposals as Word document PDFs, and that's a whole other conversation, you should get a proposal tool that will create an experience for your lead that will then become a client. But the trigger isn't in the design, of course. It's when the client signs. 2 things should fire automatically. 1, a notification that goes straight into one of your Slack channels if that's what you use. That way, every relevant person who needs to know that this contract has been signed will know that it's signed immediately. They'll know who the new client is, they'll know what they bought, and no one has to wait for a team meeting or a forwarded email or someone else to tap them on the shoulder. And 2, the entire onboarding system should start. The welcome email should fire, the intake form should send, the project workspace should be created, the kickoff booking link or onboarding call link should be sent to the client, and all of that should be triggered from one signature. Whether it's automated, which most of it should be, or a team member needs to take manual action, they already know it's time because Slack told them, and everything that doesn't need a human it's already done. That is what a trigger does. It removes the somebody needs to do the onboarding conversation completely. The contract signs, the system runs. Okay, now let's talk about what the actual process looks like. 5 steps. Step 1 is instant confirmation. The moment a client signs, no matter how excited they were in the sales process, the buyer's remorse kicks in almost immediately. They've just committed real money. And now they're sitting here thinking, did I make the right call? Are these people as good as they seemed? Am I gonna have to chase them down for updates? That anxious little voice in their head, it's your job to silence that within the hour. Here's what you can build. Triggered automatically from the moment they sign, your client should receive a welcome email within 5 minutes. It confirms the engagement, lays out what happens next and when. When your point of contact that you, like your account manager, for example, that you're assigning to this client sees this email has been CC'd to them, they gotta respond back and say welcome. And the last thing in this welcome email that you need to have is to give them one clear action to take. Usually that's booking the kickoff/onboarding call. Be clean, warm, and confident. You are removing every question mark from their brain before they have time to second guess themselves. Step 2, the onboarding intake. Your new client has received their welcome email. The anxiety is dropped. But now they're thinking, okay, what do they actually need from me? How much work is this gonna be like every other service that I've bought where I chase them to give them my login for them to get into my account? This is your chance to prove that you're different from your competitors. And you do that by making the intake process feel effortless. Your onboarding questionnaire should fire off into their email moments after their welcome email. This is where you collect everything you need to do work, whatever is relevant to your specific service. It also helps if you pair a personalized Loom video with that, showing them how to fill out this questionnaire or this intake form. It's also a nice personal touch, even if this video goes out to every single client that onboards with you guys. A non-negotiable for me personally is it cannot look like a Google form with 17 questions and a font size of 10. That signals we threw this together. Make it beautiful, make it concise, make the copy feel like the start of something and not a tax return. At Totally Branded, we use Typeform. We also use Tally because Tally is pretty and it's free. For all the Typeforms and Tallies, we use Make to automatically pipe the data into the project boards or create the project boards. So our clients' teams have all the details of their new client before having to do anything at all. Step 3, the kickoff call. Your new clients had your emails, they filled out your form, they're feeling more settled, but they haven't actually spoken to anyone since the sales call. And humans are wired to feel trust through conversation. Maybe they want to hear a voice, see a face, and feel confident that the people actually doing the work are as good as the people that sold the service to them. The kickoff call is not a logistics meeting, it's a trust building exercise. The real job of this call is to make them think, yes, I made the right decision. Here's what you can build. The booking link should already be in your welcome email. And in your welcome email, like I said earlier, there should be one clear action. This should be your one clear action. You can use any calendar tool where people can go into your calendar and pick a time slot that works for them. On this kickoff call, do not forget to recap their goals in their language. Show that you have been briefed about the sales process that they went through and all the promises that your salesperson has made. The person doing the onboarding call cannot drop the ball, and it should be the service person. Or maybe you want to have the salesperson and the service person be on the same call together with the new client. Walk through the next 30 days with them. Assign clear ownership of all tasks, internally and to the client as well if they have their own tasks. End with a concrete next step for them. Momentum in week 1 is everything. So of course, some tools that you can use for your calendar. There are so many. Where do I start? Calendly, cal.com, Google Cal, Go High Level, HubSpot. I don't remember what that tool is called, but the HubSpot one. Feel free to pick one that has automated email reminders for the call. That way your client is more likely to actually get on the call. That will decrease your no-show rate. Step 4, the shared client workspace. After the kickoff call, your client is energized, ready to go. And then they don't know where things live. They email to ask for updates. They're not sure if you've started on their project yet. That uncertainty is how you turn an excited client into a micromanaging one. Visibility kills anxiety. When a client can see that work is in progress, even if it's not done yet, they feel in control. And a client who feels in control doesn't chase. Here's what you should build. Every new client should automatically get a shared workspace with yourself or your team. This is the moment they sign, and it should be created by a trigger. It should be your client's home base. It should be able to keep track of project status, documents, feedback, and communication, all in one place, visible to them. You can template every single thing in advance. For us internally, our shared workspace is actually a shared Slack with our client, and we communicate about their project fully in that channel so they can keep up with the live updates of exactly what we are doing. Some shared workspace systems that we have built for some of our clients to give their clients visibility have been on Notion. Notion is really great for that. You can hide what you want and you can show your client what you want, and it is very, very flexible. ClickUp also works similarly and has client-facing views, and those are my only 2 recommendations, or Slack. And no, they're not paying me, my God. Step 5. The 7-day pulse check. Okay, so now your client is 1 week in. The excitement has settled. They're now waiting to see if this was worth it mode. Forming opinions based on tiny signals like how fast you respond. Does your team seem on top of things? Do you communicate proactively? Or do they have to chase you down for an update? Week 1 is when clients decide if they're going to be trusting, relaxed, and a long-term partner, or anxious or high maintenance. Week 1 is usually when a client decides if they want to be relaxed, trusting, and a long-term partner with you, or they're going to decide to be an anxious, high-maintenance client for you. The difference is entirely based off of how you show up in this window. 7 days after signing, an automated email should go out, but it's got to go out from a person's name, not a generic inbox. It's got to have 2 to 3 questions. How are you feeling about the process so far? Is there anything we can clarify for you? What's one thing that would make your experience better? This catches problems before they churn. A client who is confused but didn't tell you will tell you everything you need to know, and it signals that you don't go quiet after the contract is signed, which, by the way, is what most of your competitors are probably doing. This is also where you quietly start setting up your testimonial ask. We'll get to that. Tools that I would recommend. So for this automation, you want to set a time delay, probably 7 days after onboarding, for whichever email tool that you're using. We use Close CRM because it's our CRM that we use, and it also sends emails, which is really nice. They all do the same thing, so pick whichever one sends the best email that looks the most from the heart, realistic. Just make sure it doesn't look like a weird email that you would hate to receive. Okay, that was section 2, the framework. We're done now. Next section, 3, the tool stack. Let me give you the picture in one go, because I want you to see how lean this actually is. Your trigger lives in Qwilr, or Docusign, or whatever it is that you use to collect signatures. That fires everything. Make or Zapier, or you can use Manus if you like to use AI for your automation. Those tools are your automation backbone. It connects your trigger to your system, the automated part of things. For intake forms, Typeform or Tally. For your calendar scheduling tool, we use Calendly.com. We know there are better ones out there. Is not worth the bandwidth to change. They all do the same thing. Yes, you can also use Superhuman if you want. For your email sequences, please use your CRM. We use Close CRM. You can use your Go High Level. And that's it. 6 tools, and a lot of them have free trials or free tiers. The barrier to building a good basic onboarding system is not money. It's just simply deciding to build a basic onboarding system that is mostly automated, which after this video, you will not have any excuses to not build one or update your current one. Section 4, I don't know, I will correct this later in editing, is team adoption. One thing a lot of people don't talk about is getting your team to actually follow a new system that has been built. You can build the most beautiful automated onboarding system in the entire world, and someone on your team will still just send an email because that's what they're used to. Here's how you fix it. And accountability, not lectures. Document the process. Add it to your team's onboarding. Run a live walkthrough once. Get on a call and run a live walkthrough, and then build a quality assurance checkpoint. Pretty much just set a date on the calendar to then go back and watch them try to do the whole onboarding system without any of your help, but you can just see them do it from sharing screen. And you also want to assign somebody on your team that has maybe a little bit more authority to check in with the person that is in charge of onboarding 48 hours after a new client signs, every time that happens, to see if they're actually being triggered, right? By the trigger. You're not policing your team, you are protecting your clients. Frame it that way. Section 5. So the time to ask for a testimonial is not after 30 days, it's not after 90 days, it's when you get your first win with them. Your onboarding framework should include some sort of quick win, something tangible that proves early value. And you can take that however you want to take that. It's very subjective. This is not something that I can super templatize for you because it changes from company to company. It could be a delivered deliverable in early results, a system that they can see now is working. The moment that lands and they message you excited, that is when you should say, "So glad you're seeing results already. Would love to capture that. Would you be open to sharing a quick video testimonial?" If they're at peak satisfaction, then they will almost always say yes. Onboarding is the single most important driver of whether your clients stay or leave quietly and never refer you to anyone else. Here's another stat. Companies that automate their onboarding process see a 16% higher client retention rate than B2B companies that don't. 60% higher retention. You're basically doing what you're doing now, but automating it, so it's faster, smoother, and with more intention. If you found this video useful, share it with someone whose onboarding process makes you want to scream. They need this more than you do. And that's pretty much it for this video. My name is Brandy Grace Wong, and I'm the founder of Totally Branded. We're an embedded operations team built like co-founders serving performance B2B companies. We fix broken systems, scale client acquisition, and build missing systems. So if you need some help planning out your onboarding system, automating your onboarding system, then you might be interested in our 7-day free trial. We specialize in identifying 2 brutal bottlenecks that are holding back your revenue growth. And we use ops to try to fix it, so that way you can scale your revenue without ruining your life. Now, if your business is a little bit on the smaller end, then you might be more interested in our 7K and 7-day free trial, where we of course add 7K to your revenue in our 7-day free trial. Use the calendar link in the link in the description below to book a 15-minute exploration call to see if we're a good fit for you and you're a good fit for us in our 7-day free trial. Please make sure to like and subscribe. See you on the next video. I'm gonna get comfy for this video. I'm always like sitting up too straight and it hurts my back.